I remember in past, a lot of tech events were not that diverse. They often had monoculture. Still, there are a lot of events that have such culture, but Linux Foundation has done a great job at making its events more welcoming and inclusive. What role do you think organizations like the Linux Foundation, CNCF, or company like Minimus or Akamai play in creating that kind of a space where everyone feels respected, they feel welcome, and they feel comfortable to just walk up to you or Billy and start a conversation?
I think that the first thing anybody ever needs, any community, whether it's an event or a language or a tool, is you absolutely 1000% have to have a code of conduct with teeth. You can't have a code of conduct that just says like, "Hey, be chill," to be treat other people with respect, be nice. You can't have that. You have to have an actionable list of acceptable behaviors and unacceptable behaviors, and a way to report that anonymously to a committee, and an alternate reporting option in case you have to file a complaint against somebody on the committee. And the fact that the CNCF and Kubernetes both have those and we enforce them aggressively uh, makes us more welcoming. Like, you can be pretty confident that if you have a problem with somebody in the Kubernetes community, and you probably won't, but if you do, will jump down their throats about it. They'll get thrown out of the community. I've had somebody banned from Linux Foundation events before because of the way they interacted with me. Like, it's we don't screw around with it. So once you have a reputation for being safe, it's easier for people who typically feel more marginalized to come join your community too. For stuff like KubeCon, I've been on the program committee about 1,000,001 times, and we have requirements about what our speakers have to be like. We don't allow manels. So if you are having a panel, you have to have at least one person who does not identify as a man on the panel, or it's automatically rejected. There's no negotiating it. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if it's the CEOs of all of the cloud vendors on one panel. It's not going to happen because it's a panel full of dudes. We're not doing that. We also require that a certain percent of selected speakers never have spoken at KubeCon before, so they're all new, that kind of thing. And it does make it easier to fit in that way, like find a place to fit. If you make sure that the whole community is diverse, everybody can find like a little pocket where they fit in, a clique, a group of people, and it feels safer. It's nicer. We get more done faster that way too. DevOps days conferences are like that too. I'm also at conferences nearly constantly. I'm flying to one tomorrow and another one in 2 weeks, but I don't even bother like putting a call out to see who's going to be at a DevOps days. I just show up, and I know that I'm going to run into a dozen people that I am friends with, and not just like work friends, not colleagues, people I go to the bar with or get dinner with. And that's a nice thing to have, and that's what makes it a community and not just a business. That's what makes us want to do this outside of our 9 to 5s, because we're hanging out with our friends at the same time.
And you are right. Sometimes you can't even make it to your own booth because you're stopped every 5 minutes by friends along the way. Now, Billy, I would like to hear your perspective on that as well.
Yeah, I guess to add to that, I would also want to include the way that as this community builds, the channels that it opens up for the flip side of this, the ability for companies and individuals to lend more support to open source projects where they can. And even today, I still think that gets overlooked more than it should, but it would certainly be a lot worse, I believe, if it weren't for all the wonderful things that the Kubernetes project has done, the people involved, being very, very inclusive, which being very welcoming, which has helped to grow and help sustain it. But when you think about it, what is open source here? And what does it mean to be community? What that means is you're giving, you're hanging out, you solve the problem for yourself, and you wanted to just give it away and donate your time to help solve that for other people. And then meanwhile, you have billion-dollar companies with thousands of employees who are able to send their kids to college or buy houses and cars and all this stuff because of software that somebody wrote and just gave it away for free. Thankless hours spent into this and thankless years of their life, and getting a little bit of help here and there and getting a good thank you, and then being encouraged, other people seeing that and being encouraged to do the same thing. And then to the extent of companies coming around to open source program offices and sponsoring certain projects and wanting to make sure that they sustain there, all of this has been cracked wide open further and further and further because of the community aspect of it.